Wow, the campus kids are in full-on meltdown mode. You're not going to believe this. This video, they've tried to erase it from the internet. They tried to delete it from Reddit, but we've got a copy right here, and we're going to watch just how crazy some of this campus activism has gotten. Now, I want to lay down the bricks here so you understand what's happening. This is at the University of Minnesota, and one of the student leaders has urged her peers to make life hell for cops. And in doing so, she's encouraging them to break the law. This is Lauren Myers, a member of the Minnesota Student Association Executive Board. She directed students to use up campus cops' resources in an effort to pressure the department's police chief to resign, make their lives hell, annoy the S out of them, like use up their resources, make their officers show up to something. That sounds like filing a false police report or calling in a crime that didn't occur, which, God forbid, you tied up these cops while something actually bad was going on. But this is, I guess, like some of this activist thinking on campus. You don't even think about the damage done. We'll get into more of that in just a moment. But let's go to this video that they've tried to delete from the internet. It starts off with one of these student leaders on the call asking this woman right here, Lauren Myers, yeah, you said we were going to kind of fight back if they don't do what we tell them to do. What does it mean? What do you mean we're going to fight back?
You say disrupt UMPD. What exactly do you mean by that?
Make their lives hell. Annoy the shit out of them.
Okay.
I'm saying, what do they over? Do we know? I don't know if Amy, you know, if Morgan, you mentioned stuff with UMPD. Like, use up their resources, make their officers show up to something.
That's it. She ran out of ideas there. This guy's saying, what are we actually going to do? Because you know what? We don't really have any power. It's a game of power, is it not? And here's how the game of power works. For about a decade now, the students have realized how much power they have. They can scare the schools, the universities, private and public institutions, major corporations, media outlets, news outlets, all kinds of places. They can scare them into doing whatever they want. They could put outrageous demands out there. And people will listen to what they say. And they'll do it because they're scared of being labeled as racist, as bigoted, as sexist, as homophobic, whatever the cause du jour is. But this guy's like, hey, what are we actually going to do? And
you say disrupt UMPD.
Says,
what exactly do you mean by
let's
that?
break the law.
Make their lives hell.
Look at his reaction.
Annoy the shit out of them.
Okay.
I'm saying, what do they over? Do we know? I don't know if Amy, you know, if Morgan, you mentioned stuff with UMPD. Like, use up their resources, make their officers show up to something.
You can't do that. And now she finds herself in some hot water. Listen to this. In a joint statement issued Tuesday, Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association and Law Enforcement Labor Services, both police unions, asked for an investigation into Myers. Two can play this game. She wants an investigation into the police on campus, and she wants the head of the police on campus fired. Well, guess what? Now we want you looked at. Actively planning to thwart the UMPD by generating false calls for help is insulting to the overwhelming majority of the campus community that rely on public safety services. They also said last month the campus community had 13 incidents of aggravated assault, 52 burglaries, 22 car thefts, 4 sexual assaults, numerous thefts, and a murder on or near campus. There's real work for these police to do, and imagine if fake calls were coming in as these student activist groups are suggesting. That is very bad. The students' demands are like this. They want the resignation of Matthew Clark as the chief of the University of Minnesota Police Department. They demand the interim chief be one of their people, somebody who says they're committed to diversity, demilitarization, adding in BIPOC and disabled students' voices in determining the best course of actions for campus policing. You know, with all due respect, I don't care what the disabled community on campus or the BIPOC community or what. I care what the police are supposed to do to protect all of the students on the campus. This is ridiculous. And the cops understand this, and you understand this. They said, we demand the hiring process that we are heavily consulted. Student leaders are heavily consulted, including interviews by the entire MSA. That's the Minnesota Students Association. They want to interview the cops. We're gonna grill you to make sure you're one of us. No, says the police. They actually want the student in the video to apologize to UMPD for her statements and unethical misconduct. They have their own demands. They want the university to initiate an investigation into the code of conduct violations that may have happened, and they want to have an outside agency conduct a criminal investigation to determine if charges are warranted. Now, the University of Minnesota Student Association is known to be involved in some of this activist stuff. They're also known to totally make stuff up. They'll say, look at all these incidents that happened on campus, and they'll blame the police and then use this fake information to say the police chief or the leader, the head of police on campus should be fired. There was even one student, a student leader, who said that he was approached by a police officer who treated him like crap and was racist. The student said, if I would have left the situation, what would have happened? I'm so tired of police terrorizing students. Here's the problem. They released the actual footage of said incident. And in that footage, in the video, the student tells officers he's a University of Minnesota student and offers to show his student identification. An officer says to him, I believe you, you're good to go. That was the entirety of the interaction. All of the rest of this stuff was a lie by the student leader. And they continue with these lies to this very day. And they're trying to play that game of power. Now they're trying to get this police officer fired. And she thinks the students should tie up the lines with fake crimes and calls to get their point across until they get to interview and pick the head of police on campus. It's ridiculous. You know it. I know it. And at some point, you got to take a little bit of the power back into the hands of the actual leaders and adults in the room and end this game of power that so many campus activists seem to really enjoy playing. No more scalps for them. What do you think about this and other things that you've seen happening on campuses across the country? And do you think something should happen to her legally for suggesting that people should call in fake crimes to the police to tie them up and pull out all of their resources? And just in general, what do you think is going to happen next in this situation? It'll be very, very interesting to watch, and I'm looking forward to your comments on this as always. If you're new around here, first of all, share the video if you liked it. If you found this informative, hit that share button. Over on Facebook, hit follow for videos just like this every single day, including a big exclusive tomorrow. Facebook.com/thenewsjunkie. Hit that follow button. Subscribe over on YouTube. Over on YouTube, I don't know if I said over or over, but now the video's over. We'll talk to you again real soon.